Alright, Pisces up at what y'all reading. Last day for all the readings that's being uploaded. Pisces. Let's see what animal spirits y'all gonna be working with. Or have. Or that's probably has some sense of meaning that has been related to y'all and y'all's time. So, let's see. Ooh, what we got? Gazelle and an oyster. That would be dope. Gazelle and an oyster. Got those two. Let's see, we need two more. Ooh, Scorpion. Scorpionic energy. Ooh, my bad. Alright. On the bottom of the deck, you got Panther. What's this? You got Panther, Sea Serpent, and the Fox. Alright. But you hear me say first card out, we had the Gazelle, which is the Gazelle is upside down. It's that nurturing, it is that kind, it is that loving type energy, the mothering type of experiences. This came out of Libra reading. You hear me say for is you may be working in an environment where you hear me say with kids or those type of things, or your inner child, like doing those type of work. You got the oyster here too. This is upright. This is water, which would be known bring y'all water sign energy. Someone may be shy, possibly trying to get to know someone, a side of themselves, or just trying to understand to get some sort of happiness. But you got the other sign, so this could be with parenting or getting to know kids. Somebody's possibly, if you do have kids, just had kids, or just had kids, somebody is very protective of them. The eagle is, especially with the gazelle pair, it's kind of like mama bear. Don't touch my baby, don't say nothing to it, like that type of energy. Protective. Give it protective. So let's read the eagle. Let's read the eagle. Because y'all got overall, overall energies. You got earth, water. You got earth, water, fire, and rooting back to air. So it's all the elements. I like that though. Earth, water, fire, and air. Okay. Let's go. Let's see. I'm trying to find this. Alright, let's go. Girl, where is it? Okay. All pervading power, truth seeker, transforms karma. The noble eagle emanates the light of the sun. This great bird is both physical and spiritual strong and represents the mastery over the elements of fire and air. When the element appears, you'll soon be thrown into the karmic fire for the sake of your transformation. The eagle pushes us to be our best and brightens at our brightest selves and stops at nothing to see us shine. Grasp that sun in your talons and hold on far for a ride. You are stronger than you think, eager child. Bright, radiant, and challenges when it is in balance. To bring into balance, you have to learn how to step into the unknown. This is the oyster. So it's like the wisdom in situations, protecting. It could be with kids, or it could just be that hawk type energy. If y'all got Scorpion or dealing with Scorpio or that type of energy into your chart, it is that my bad. It is this shit, what I'm trying to say. The hawk is a part of where I constantly say it's a part of like the Scorpio energy of where you hear me say before it actually ascends and rises into the phoenix before it's able to be burned down and burned down. So it could be old karmic cycle situations of things that you used to deal with that you're trying to like see how could you adjust or deal with it, especially when it comes to like the inner child process. Like a lot of people keep certain things buried into deep into the subconscious. People don't want to go to those places emotionally or mentally because they feel like it's really not important. So it's just this, like the inner wisdom, the inner knowing of seeing the worth of those experiences, of having those, or having kids, or your younger self, or being able to know you better, to self-reflect, to be able to change the person who you used to be or who you are trying to become. I like that. I like that though. Shit. Let's scoop these out the way because I don't want the jokes to blow off because they will while I'm going this way. Last one. How I want the bottom of the deck. 9 of Swords and a 3 of Swords. Yes, it's kind of like somebody trying to avoid some sense of heartbreak, betrayal, lies, backstabbing, or some type of energy. Like somebody doesn't want to go there. It's probably the emotional type matters or sense. Ooh. Taurus. 4 of Pentacles. Virgo, Taurus, or Capricorn. Let's see what else comes out. Why am I saying those signs? Ooh, Queen of Pentacles. Queen of Pentacles. Ooh. But it's weird though. Page of Wands. Three of Pentacles. Yes, yes. Let's see. Oh shit. Alright, let's see what it is. I need 2 more. And then I'm good to go. And then we'll see what else comes out. Ooh. On the bottom of the deck, you got Page of Pentacles, the Star, the Knight of Cups, the Fool, and the Wand, and the Piscean energy. I think I said this to y'all back, like, when I first, I think I said this, like, what was it, last year? It had to be, like, last year or something like that, or probably this year when I was like, it's okay, it said, no. Specifically when it was talking about attention-seeking matters, I was like, you have to learn how to show your light, and as well as let other people experience it with you. Not being so in the jealous, the show-offy, all those type of things, like quick to rush in to like, oh, it's me, like the eagerness. Like y'all sister sign is a Virgo, so it's like needing to exude this sense of perfectness or whatever the case may be, or always needing to be right or first in those type of matters, that it leaves you in positions where you're becoming ungrounded, or you don't naturally feel like yourself, or you could be going through moments where you actually don't feel like you fit in with certain people or groups or entities. Because I said it's okay to be emotional or to feel the emotions or to know what it is you want, but when you let that becomes you, in most cases it pushes you away from certain people. So I said y'all kind of got like a sinister side to y'all, and sometimes y'all really don't own that. So that's a part of the oyster. So it could be going through those repetitious times of doing the same thing over and over and over again and not learning from them, because y'all do got the Hangman here, you got the Queen of Pentacles, and we talked about this a long time ago when it comes to attention seeking type matters. Like, just because somebody else is there in the star energy, that doesn't mean you have the star energy. And it doesn't have to be you. It could be a person that you may be operating with, or you could be around people where you feel like in that Scorpion energy where you don't know how to go in and get that from you, like the oyster energy, to where you're able to say, okay, well, I have this, I'm this, I don't have to be them, but I can be me as well. So I don't have to be, you know, overly to the place to where it comes off where it's just like, oh no, I'm just trying to be cool, where it comes out very narcissistic, ego driven, to where it pushes people away before it pulls them in when it comes to like commitment, because you do got 2 of Pentacles. So it's kind of like hiding yourself from a person, closed off emotions, not showing the real you, and those type of things, like where you're able to be vulnerable and be emotionally accepted, that can push people away. I'm telling y'all, out of the whole zodiac, when I tell everybody, I say Pisces has the most nastiest attitude. For real. All right. So you got Hierophant, Queen of Pentacles, Page of Wands, Two of Swords. Ooh wee. Wait a minute. If you're in a marriage or a relationship, somebody got two different spiritual values. I just want to say that with this Hierophant. Somebody got two different spiritual values of how they go about certain things, or when it comes to certain things. When it comes to certain things of spiritual, like when it comes to spiritual type matters, it's trying to like blend this two into one. That's what it's kind of giving me. If you're in a marriage or whatever the case may be, over time when we talk about masculine energy and feminine energy, how sometimes masculine energy think it's okay to always put up with emotional tyrants to where they end up being emotionally blackmailed. They think that's okay. And then for women as well, thinking that they always have to be the submissive, to always say, well, let me baby, let me nurture, let me this to my partner, and receive nothing behind it because they always think it's going to be something good. You got the Two of Swords here, so it's kind of like you kind of at a standstill. It could be marriages, relationships, learning type matters, or just newness, or trying to deal with this Queen of Pentacles energy, even if it got something to do with kids or parenting, those type of matters, or parental type issues where someone may need some sense of break. They may have some emotional blinders on to situations where they feel but it kind of just gives me with this Queen of Pentacles energy, like somebody's oblivious to their own actions and situations, so they sit in a stagnant type space, waiting for just a clear to come get them out of the situation. Like, not to get them out, but it just gives me boredom. Can I say that? It just gives me boredom. That's what kind of gives me, though, boredom. Two of Swords, though. Like, it really gets me that, like, needing to... But then it goes back to the different spirituality views. I don't know. Like, trying spirituality views, marriages reviews, like traditional style type marriages, you know, recognizing that certain things don't work. So you're trying to shake things up and maybe trying to find your way in that particular situation, especially if it got something to do with kids. Could be postpartum, whatever the situation may be. Don't want to put that on somebody. But it could be those. Like, you go through those times as women where you feel like... you necessarily don't know what you need anymore. Alright, so in your feelings process, you got the Four of Pentacles, but you got the Three of Pentacles and the Sun. It's kind of like, in order to be able to learn some sense of newness, to be able to let something go, you're still holding on to something that's like blocking this Sun. I don't know if it's your happiness, you hear me say, when it comes to inner child, learning, fertility type matters. It's kind of like somebody's holding something back, like emotionally, like they're so used to the same being, because this is the Ace of Pentacles being returned. So as well as you may have been asking for some assistance, financial support, or whatever the case may be, that's trying to come in or help about, you hear me say, children type matters, your inner happiness, working, healing the inner child. It's kind of like you withholding something back, going back to that oyster type energy, not wanting to let it go, to experience a sense of full-blown happiness with you. This is the Ace of Pentacles, where it's like some things that's still being worked out. Like, it's kind of like it's still being worked out. And they say you're being thrust into a karmic fire. And the fire to make a sense of a transition, to where if you're into astrology, all those different types of things, like learning how to utilize the scorpionic energy and not just being the negatives of it, where possessive or sexual, cryptic, paranoia, all those different types of things. Not those, but just actually being free and embracing the sense of the dark side, and not just being dark to where it's like manic, but just embracing those, all the areas of them, a person, a situation, and not expecting it to be in a routine type matter. This Hierophant type energy. Okay. And your action process, you got King of Pentacles. That's like money being rooted. It could be, you hear me say, financial type matters, because you do see the gender roles, the gender switches, or whatever the case may be. Sometimes women make more money than the men, and the men make more money than the women, whatever the case may be. But it's just one that feels like a sense of pleasure that comes from financial type gain, or feeling rooted in a sense of ways that, like, when it comes to control or letting things go, or when it comes to a sense of support that comes from a partner or situation, it's kind of like somebody has to emotionally and logically woo you before they actually get what they want. Because you got the Hangman and the Queen of Cups. It's kind of like this repetitive cycle. You hear me say, just going there, sitting there. Somebody could be a pouty. You hear me say, y'all are the Queen of Soakers. Queen and kings of soakers, especially when it comes to the emotional unhappiness when it comes to certain things. Like, this could be you, though. You hear me say over time, like, letting your emotions turn you upside down and not being able to master them to where it puts you in a Five of Pentacles energy to where you end up being in a emotionally embarrassing situations, or feeling like you just don't fit in with other people, or you feel like, oh man, like, say for instance, if you was somewhere and somebody like, get out, like that type of energy where you telling somebody to get out, and you just feel like you feel embarrassed. Like, this is what it kind of feels me though, like embarrassed about parts of you or who you are or situations. Like, and then too, you hear me say when it comes to the Ten of Pentacles of whole or foundations, it's kind of like the other half of you, or that you give, you feel like you're really not being, you know, like you're really not being understood. But it's kind of like, are you really trying to be understood? Because you hear me say 4, 3, it's 1 left, you still holding on to something and not being able to accept it all. Oh, there go that one. Look at that one up under that bed. This is the Four of Swords. I said that though. Like, this could be seeking some sort of counsel though. You hear me say, look up there in the corner. Wait a minute. You see somebody's praying to the preacher or asking for a sense of help. Like, this could be though, like, some people may be in a more religious type mind frame to where they pray and they ask for a sense of help, and then they say I'm gonna put it on the altar and I'm gonna give it to God or whatever the case may be. But you still get up and you push it. Somebody doesn't necessarily have to be into those type of things from a religious type matter, but it does give like somebody's doing like some deep rooted mental, emotional, healing the inner child, crown chakra type of things, pineal gland, like working all on those different things, trying to purge out a sense of who you were into becoming something different. But you got the Ten of Wands. It's kind of like that one thought that's there that you can see. So it could be something that you hear me say that you really don't pay attention to. Like those that's in front of you. It's kind of like, yeah, it could be victories or feeling like you achieved so much in your life with this Queen of Pentacles energy that it's kind of like, shit. And it's like one dream, some investment or financial type planning, whatever it is. I don't know. You hear me say, with kids, it's kind of like, oh man, well, I really wanted this. And not being able to access it right now with this Ten of Wands energy, because somebody feels drained, depleted, or you just feel like you gotta keep going because of these 3 victories. Oh shit, I hate it when them cards fly out. Alrighty, King of Wands. I hate it when them cards fucking fly out. Oh, okay. You got Hermit though. This is being alone, taking time to recharge. You hear me say this is y'all sister sign. The need to be perfect. The servitude attitude, caring for others. Because you hear me say Pisces can be very empathetic to other people's problems, as well as all water signs. But in most cases can take on the Cancerian type energy to where you put other people before you. And that's when it goes into that emotional tyrant. Well, you don't know I did this and I did this. And start cussing and fussing for no reason. And it's kind of like nobody. And somebody might say, well, I didn't ask you. And then now it's the guilt of, because you feel like, well, what I did, the Virgo type energy of the sister sign, well, I did this because I thought it was supposed to be done. And it was like, but did I ask though? Did I really ask? Like, that's the energy of the Hermit, where you hear me say trying to understand and self-reflect on those different types of things. You got Two of Pentacles, where you hear me say those two. You hear me say up and down, trying to make the yin and yang work, the dark and light, or just trying to juggle some sort of something. If it goes back to financial resources, it could be like, okay, I'm investing into this, but at the same time, I'm trying to get something else. But why is it not coming right now? Then you got the Nine of Wands and the Page of Cups. So if it does go back to, you hear me say, inner child, children, those type of instances or whatever the case may be, this is like being emotionally open and not being guarded, but at the same time knowing how to protect yourself. It's just how you protect your emotions and when it comes to certain things. So it don't have to be you. It could be another person, but it's just how you try to protect your emotions. Like when you let your guard down finally, because the Queen of Pentacles, she's really not that, she can be like an emotional blackmailer. Like, if anybody been on Fuck Your Anxiety, you read that blog where you hear me say like the narrative where in marriages to where you see, babe, I want to do this, you don't want to do it, and have an attitude and be like, I don't want to. And it's like respecting people boundaries and space to the point where because of yours, or you feel emotionally vulnerable, or if you allow people to do this to you, with landing on this hangman, it's kind of like you allow someone to do this to you, or it could be a feminine energy, it could be a mom over time, a person, or a sibling, whoever it is, baby mama, baby dad, or whoever you allow to do this to you. It's like you're dishing it back to somebody else. And the Three of Pentacles, you hear me say, to me that's all about learned behaviors. Queen of Swords, that's why I said, yeah, this Queen of Swords energy, that's it. So no, it's a parent, it's a parental type issue. Parental, sibling, somebody, something. Or it could be help, you hear me say, when it comes in counseling as a therapist though, but it's under trying to get you to shake up, especially when it goes into like that karmic transformation. Shit, I couldn't get that word out. That karmic transformation, trying to get something new and a sense of clarity on a situation. But it's like, do I really want to go there? Like, that's what it's like, do I really want to go there? Because this is the Wheel of Fortune. You hear me say being upright, using fixated energy, Taurus, Leo, Aquarius, and Scorpio energy. Fixed sign, being fixated on the right things, those cycles, trying to reap a sense of harvest of good things and trying to complete certain things. The number 10, completion. You hear me say those foundations. Ooh, Queen of Wands, okay. I like the Queen of Wands, ready to take the risk. Because some people fail to recognize when it comes to like feminine and masculine energy. Like you see that. My bad. I had to clear up some space. But I don't know. I said some people be thinking when they're trying to heal the feminine energy, in most cases, they... shit. They just work on certain aspects. The nurturing, the kind, the mothering, and not about what is it they choose to do as a person to blend that in. Financial goals, expectations, your own interests. When it comes to this Queen of Cups and this Queen of Pentacles, the Queen of Cups is up. This Queen of Wands is upright. This is where the defensive energy comes in. Feisty, ready to fight, all those different types of things that you hear me say. It may be dismissive towards certain people or situations where it's like, no. You hear me say, especially when it comes to communication or whatever the case may be. So it's kind of like, yeah, well, whatever. Like those battles in situations, like going forward with other people in situations. So it's like aggressive, much. That's why I want to say aggressive, much. Shit. That was a Page of Wands. I'm not Page of Pentacles. I mean, Page of Swords. Shit. Let me see. Shit. One more damn card. Fly the fuck off. I'm telling you, I'm gonna be pissed. Ooh. Alright, I'm trying to get them all out. So I'm gonna have to merge these two videos together. I think that's it. Bottom of the deck, King of Wands. I said that though. King of Wands, that feisty, that argumentative type energy. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, boom. So let me pick all these up so we can go right to them. Page of Swords was the one that fell out. This could be arguments, you hear me saying, the home, group, selection, teamworks, all those different types of things. It just gives me like those situations that you may have found once stable, and those environments trying to fight to them, because I told you trying to fight for them. So it could be married to somebody maybe trying to fight for a difference of, or trying to fight to keep their sense of sanity or peace of mind, whichever one that goes on. But this is that defensive type energy, like that petty inability to be able to learn, going back to that Two of Swords, like arguing to, like when people communicate, listening for a sense of emotional listening. And that's why the Queen of Cups is down instead of listening to be logical. And that's why the Queen of Swords is up to say, here it is, I'm going to be logical, I'm going to get my point across. But when she is not heard or understood, she can turn into the Queen of Pentacles, going into a sulky type matter, not honoring yourself, a negative type state. Then the Queen of Wands, feeling like you have to do something, but the doing turns into fighting arguments. Why is that in my head? High Priestess, the strength. Five of Cups and the Knight of Wands. There we go with the unwanted attention. It could be divinity of certain matters or whatever the case may be. Trying to get to the sense of truth, needing strength, pride, or it could be right of the matter, you hear me say, or how you view certain things. Mental clarity, you hear me say, clearing out certain old debts, being honest, trying to, you hear me say, being strong enough to deal with the truth, the inner depth within self. Five of Cups reverse, Knight of Wands. That energy. That's why I say it just gives me like somebody is an emotional listener. Like somebody's not a listener in a sense, because it's kind of like if it don't matter to them, they don't care. So it's like the energy, I'm avoid what you got to say, because you know how that Piscean energy, the illusion is of, well, I don't want to hear this because it's hurt my feelings and I don't want to deal with it. So it leads somebody to always chase them. Or when it comes to communication matters, it could be very harsh between the two. So somebody could be controlling and an energy to where it's not controlling, but it gets me passive aggressive with the Queen of Wands upright and the King of Wands. So somebody, or you or your partner, could be very passive aggressive when it comes to communication, or you with others, or with children if that's the instance, or baby daddy, baby mamas. You got Seven of Pentacles, Six of Pentacles, Scorpio energy, and the Star. That's why I said going within and a part of self. This is going within and being a part of yourself. This is like knowing how you shine, the energy of you, that transformative type energy, being stuck, slow to progress. You hear me say still stuck in those old cycles, needing to be able to push out to reach the Star type energy, to be in a situation, to be fulfilled, that if you do give or you pour into unnecessary things, that you are full. Seven of Pentacles -6, -7 -6 leaves you back at 1. So it's the, again, I know y'all sick and tired of me saying that, individuality, working on what you like and becoming whole as a person. You got the Fool, the Seven of Cups, the Ace of Wands, and the Temper. There we go. Being could be sober thoughts, or initially, like you hear me say, when you want to try new things, you possibly burnt yourself out so much to the point where you want to try something to where you feel like this is giving you some sense of control, like of who you are as a person, or mastering self. Because it's like over time, if, like I said this young Pisces reading, I said if somebody don't let you express their emotions, or you don't let somebody else, over time you can become very withdrawn to the point where you like, no, I don't want to talk no more. It's good. And it can really deep down bother you, or you just have emotionally shut off and become detached from it, that you kind of like, I don't care. And that's not working, because it's kind of like within self, it's not getting the sense of heal. But you hear me say needing to be this Emperor energy, in control, controlling yourself, because over once upon a time somebody's emotions may have got the best of them, so they feel like they have to be the Emperor energy, especially if you're the feminine energy. So you may not show that you actually care, your understanding, or things really does matter, because over time it's kind of like, no, well, when I tried to give my input, and when I tried to do this, like that energy, like that's what kind of gets me like quick cut, shut off, and down. I don't want to go there. Give me grudge holder. Three of Pentacles, it really does. Five of Wands, the Judgment, the Eight of Cups, the Eight of Wands reverse, and the 3. Yep. This is masculine and feminine energy. Five of Wands, the Judgment, the Eight of Cups, the Eight of Wands, and the 3 of Swords. It's kind of like over time, you hear me say, this emotional accountability that you may be asking someone to take, or someone is asking you to take, you kind of really don't feel like you should, because of your own emotions, or certain things that you feel like you have hid, you have suppressed, you have held on to. It's kind of like, for what? Somebody may have a problem showing empathy when it comes to other people or situations. It's kind of like maybe you, or towards yourself, or someone you may be interacting with, that everybody doesn't act the same. Because the Emperor here, this is somebody where you hear me say they like real chill, they cool, you know what I'm saying? And Aries energy, or any fire energy, just to be exact, like they don't stay mad long unless they genuinely fucking mad. So when you add this in, and you mix it in with water that's trying to be controlled, it kind of like limits the total transformation for you to step into who you are, to feel whole, because you're withholding back who you are. Not saying, you hear me say, being in control to become this person, because this person is very leveled. But when it comes to certain things, when you're mastering and becoming the Emperor type energy, you have to know what to give attention and what's not. You don't become the Emperor with hate, grudges, oh, you know, and I'm mad, trying to be cool in a room. It's kind of like you sit in a room full of goddamn enemies, or whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? Like in a room full of enemies and you got to put your poker face on. But this just gives me interpersonal type relationships. So they could be friends, partners, marriages, anything of choice or businesses type matters to where you trying to say, no, well, I ain't going to show my hand. But you don't even really know that, you hear me say, even if it has something to do with creative projects or business endeavors, the Ace of Wands, when it comes to your creativity and action base, it's your emotions are limiting you. When it comes to the Ace of Pentacles, if it's doing something different to bring in this, you stuck because of your emotional, because you're like, I'm gonna do it this way, I'm gonna keep this, and you don't want to trash the whole thing to start over. That's why the Tower is there. It's not to bring in a sense of chaos. It's kind of like you don't want to let nothing go because you don't want to start over new, because the new is not something, you know. I think Leo reading will resonate with y'all a lot, so let me just say that. Nine of Swords. That's why I said Nine of Swords is like not wanting to be stressed out. Here we go. Seven of Wands in the Tower. That's what I said. It's a relationship. You cut somebody off, or you stood your ground, or you feel like you standing your ground and you avoiding them, and it's just a moment, or somebody's doing this to you because you kind of like no, or you may be at their wit's end with them, where you trying to establish some sort of new boundaries and find what it is that you stand for, but it may be how you may be going about it. With the King of Wands is trying to get a point across and some sort of understanding to where it's like defensive. It's funny. It's not funny like that, but it is. That's why I say you won't allow this Tower type moment to come in and to change. This is the Lovers reverse. That's why I said it could be loving if you're trying to reap some sort of love or bring in some sort of love or heal some old love, self-love, or this. It's kind of like you like, hell no. Hell no. That's the sexual card too. Ten of Pentacles. That's why I said that's the foundation. Your 5, their 5. Somebody doesn't want to take accountability. You see this a lot. I'm not tugging on feminine energies because it could be any gender, but you see there's a lot of feminine energies. Somebody who's more emotional, they never want to take their part in a marriage or a relationship or how things went bad, because feminine energies has been taught over time that their emotions matter more than the masculine, or when it comes to being in a sense of control, so they never take their fault. So they always do the same things over and over and over again, to the where the masculine always chase them, the emotional blackmail and the emotional tyrant. Over time, they become this lack of accountable. So after a while, sex drives die off. Kids don't want to happen. Like, it just gets boring and distasteful in life. Or wanting to build with people and see how they are. It's like my way or the highway that I'm set into who I am. Yep. You see that all the time. Ace of Swords. That's why I say it's like this transformation of you holding on to something from how you was made or how you was raised or where you are or what you came into, to the point where you're talking. It's just like you're communicating about the same thing, or this person comes communicating about the same thing when it comes to arguments, building, miscommunication, honesty, transparency, the stature of love. Because if you are single and you're trying to get into a relationship, your relationship may be based off of the last person. If you in a relationship or a marriage right now, it's kind of like you and your partner, y'all may be getting hit with the COVID wave, where y'all just may be getting on each other's fucking nerves, and one of y'all around the house just concocting some shit and aggravating the hell out of one of each other. The other party gives me that you're in a relationship and too many people, I mean, you may have different spirituality views. That's what it kind of gives me, though. Two people that have two different of spirituality type views, but that doesn't make them less of any person or the partner that you fell for. Then you got somebody else, or you hear me say we're trying to do some sort of business adventure or trying to get into some or establish some way. It could be entrepreneurship, whatever the case may be, some new creative endeavor, or when it comes to finances and support, that you don't want to trash the old way, because the King of Pentacles, over time, this has worked for him. But it's a difference in entrepreneurship and brand building. So that's what a lot of people fail to recognize. Okay. Six of Wands. Yep. That's why I said, and whatever it is that brings you some sort of attention. Yep. Chariot energy. Yeah, that's why I said, yeah, it's whatever brings somebody a sense of attention or support that they get from people. Like somebody's so accustomed to it that they ain't trying to let it go. So, ooh, it just gives me battle of the egos. It really does. It gives me battle of the egos. It does. I'm sorry. My bad. It really does give me a battle of the ego. Somebody got to deal with an ego. Somebody got a big ego. Such a huge ego. I love my big ego. Stop. Alright, that's it. Bottom of the deck, this is Seven of Swords. That's that sinister type behavior, being honest about those certain things. This could be a part of where you hear me say inner child type things. This is the World, the Two of Wands, the Three of Wands, and the Seven of Swords. Like, this is you being sneaky about certain things. Sneaky. And this ain't no regular sneaky. Like, this is like the intent of to initially hurt. So it could be somebody else or someone or something. It's kind of like that lack of remorse. This Queen of Wands, she don't care. She gonna get what she want. So it's kind of like, even if you don't want to be in a relationship, but leading men on in those perspectives, that's kind of like that energy. Or trying to bait someone into your world because of indecisiveness and inability to be able to make a decision when it comes to you. So it's returning back to those behaviors. I did get Three of Cups, Three of Pentacles. It's a lot of threes, Three of Swords. So it's kind of like if you dating someone at this moment, you know how y'all do that back and forth, act like you ain't talking to somebody, somebody's lying, and they playing both sides of the fence. Somebody's trying to keep their options open, and they very lying about it. That's all I gotta say. Or you could know this, and you trying to play in this sense of game with someone or person. Pick your battles wisely. That's all I gotta say. But overall, you got Ace of Cups, reverse, Chariot, Three of Cups, and the Temperance energy. Could be, you hear me say, family type drama. I did get 10 of Pentacles, or it could be family. Didn't get to 10 of Cups, though. It could be family or foundations, baby mama, baby dad, the drama, marital type issues that you hear me say. Somebody's very impatient when it comes to love. They really are. Somebody's very impatient. Somebody may have a lot of love for someone and have not let that go. So that's why I said it's very mindful, like the journey that you running into with certain people. So if you was a person who slept with people or let people abuse you in a certain sense, it's kind of like the energy is coming back to you. It is. Because of impatiency when it comes to the emotions. So that's what it may be going on with somebody in a sense of relationship. Or it could be friends. You hear me say, it doesn't necessarily have to be. But it could be, you hear me say, just removing yourself from a friend group or just participating or with family or isolating. But it does give me like somebody's going through some type of emotional or mental challenges of clarity. Because you, again, you got Eight of Swords, Justice, King of Wands. And I'm trying to pick them all up. Did I pick them up? What's that behind there? Oh shit, I'm trying to pick it all up. You got Eight of Swords, Four of Cups, reverse, the Justice, the King of Wands, and the Magician. That's why I said it's kind of like trying to heal this masculine energy, to push it in and heal or fix. Or you may be doing this with somebody else, maybe trying to fix them more. You trying to fix yourself and recognize that you really not getting nowhere. So the divine, like, I'm going to take all this interest that you put into somebody else and I'm going to burst that into you and make you see what it is that you need. So if you are saying you're trying to date somebody, if you heal and fix you to the point to where you're kind of timid about making those decisions, it's going to put somebody in your life that's going to cause you to be in a lover's triangle. So if you have been cheated on, you're trying to get somebody to work out, you're going to be the one that's going to bring this energy to somebody. And you ain't going to see how, like, it's going to make you feel to the point to where this person is going to be very mad. And it's going to be like, yeah. And you going to actually see how does that feel being entangled. But when it comes to somebody else, when it comes to you learning how to, because if you always the strong one, or you hear me say not knowing how to be emotionally vulnerable, this person and this energy, you are being pushed in a situation to where you're allowed to be vulnerable for people to be able to help you, and you don't like it. Period. So that's where the King of Wands energy is coming from, to where it's mad, he don't care, he or she doesn't care. I'm not talking about a specific gender, but it's like losing a sense of control, to where it forces you, like somebody may feel like they have to lose a piece of them to actually gain them. So that's why I say this kind of gives me a karmic transformation though, but I like it though. So other than that, you guys, I ain't got nothing else to say. So that's y'all rest of y'all monthly reading. So remember the gazelle, the oyster, scorpionic, and the eagle energy. And like I put in my blog, and this is not to be offensive to anybody, and it's not saying people are fake. So I know people hear the word pretend and they run with it. You can't go around saying that, oh, I'm doing this, because I know sometimes feminine energies like to make ultimatums with men, right? And sometimes they forget, no matter what they go through in life, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, or whatever the case may be, that you have to be this. It's kind of like you can't go to a business contract or a person and wanting them to help you achieve this amount of money, and they don't know what they invested in. So over time, to what they need you to do, you're going to constantly be forced to become the person that you want to be, whether you like it or not, because this is what you want. So think of it as like a sense of preparation. But emotional immaturity can keep you stuck in situations to where you keep going through them over and over and over again, because it's trying to get you to clear out some shit to be able to bring in some shit. So on that note, Pisces, I ain't got shit else to say, and I hope you guys are having a great day.